Walking in the Word Wednesdays. Come walk with us. When life gets heavy and your heart feels worn.
Welcome back to Walking in the Word Wednesdays. I hope last week's reading, Silent Battles of the Faithful, helped you. We learned that God sees our pain even when we feel alone. But what happens when the battle is also around you? In chapter 6, Spiritual Blind Spots, when no one understands, we examine those difficult seasons when people can see your actions but cannot see your heart. Sometimes the greatest challenge is helping others understand what you're going through. Let's be honest again, one of the hardest parts about being in a cave is not just the darkness, it's the feeling that nobody sees you, that nobody really gets what you're going through. People see your position but not your pressure. They see your smile but not your sorrow. They hear your words but don't discern your wounds. That's the frustration of a spiritual blind spot. That's what Elijah felt when he said, "I, even I only, am left." He believed no one else was struggling like he was. That's what the cave does. It clouds your clarity. Join me as we uncover the truth. The pain of being misunderstood. Have you ever tried to explain your pain and they brushed it off? You're too sensitive. You just need more faith. Just pray about it and move on. It's not that bad. They don't mean harm, but the advice lacks empathy because they're not where you are. That's the frustration of a spiritual blind spot. Sometimes people love you but can't see your pain. They admire your strength and miss your struggle, and that makes the cave feel even colder. They see your smile but not your sorrow. They hear your words but don't discern your wounds. We must remember that just because someone looks strong doesn't mean they aren't fighting. That's the reality of a spiritual blind spot. It makes the journey feel lonely. In the next part, we'll look at how even Job's closest friends missed the depth of his pain. At first, it looked like compassion, but eventually they started judging him. You must have done something wrong. God must be punishing you. Sin lieth at the door. Sound familiar? Isn't it something how people turn into prophets of doom the moment your life doesn't look blessed? But Job hadn't sinned. He was in a cave season, a test. And instead of empathy, they gave him explanations. They missed the heart of the matter because they couldn't see past their own blind spots. Let this be a reminder. Just because someone doesn't understand your pain doesn't mean your pain is invalid. Your struggle is real and it is seen. Don't let their lack of understanding make you question your worth or your walk. In the next part, we'll look at a modern testimony of being misjudged in the middle of the cave. Testimony misjudged in the middle of the cave. A man once told me how after losing his wife, he didn't return to church for 3 months. When he finally showed up, someone pulled him aside and said, "Brother, you need to get right with God." He said he almost turned around and walked right back into his cave. Why? Because instead of compassion, he received condemnation. They didn't know he was in survival mode. That's what Jesus does. He doesn't always speak first. Sometimes he just sits with us in the sorrow. He knows what it's like to be misunderstood and misjudged. Isaiah 53:3 says, "He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief." That's your Savior. When nobody understands you, Jesus still does. In your deepest sorrow, you are never alone. Jesus is right there with you. In the final part, we'll learn how to keep moving forward despite the blindness of others. Don't let their blindness block your breakthrough. Elijah felt isolated, but he wasn't alone. Job felt misunderstood, but God still vindicated him. Jesus was crucified unjustly, but he still got up. Here's the lesson. Don't let people who don't understand your journey stop you from continuing it. Don't let religious voices silence your struggle. Don't let shallow advice rob you of deep healing. People may misread your situation, but God never does. He sees behind the mask. He hears what you don't say. He recognizes what others overlook. So even when nobody else gets it, tell yourself, God gets me, God sees me, and God's going to bring me out. Believe it and keep walking. In the final segment, we'll wrap up chapter 6 and look at the call to action for this season. You are coming out of this. Stay tuned for the conclusion. In this chapter, we discovered that our responsibility is not to gain everyone's approval. It is to remain faithful to God's purpose. Today, make a decision to trust God's perspective more than man's approval. Ask Him to give you grace toward those who don't understand your journey. If this message blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to visit our ministry merchandise store for devotionals and apparel designed to uplift your walk with God. Visit the link in our bio for a special blessing. Thank you for joining us tonight. And always remember, the cave is not your final destination. This is Joseph and Chiffon Ingram with Walking in the Word Wednesdays. And by faith, declare it with me one more time. I'm coming out of this. Join us next week for Chapter 7, God's Question, What Are You Doing Here? Where we'll explore not your location, but your condition. We'll see you then. God bless.
Walk in the word. Walk in the word. Walk in the word. Grace is here and it's already here. Walk in the word. Walk in the word. Walk in the word. Hope comes alive and the truth is stirred. On Wednesday nights when the doors swing wide.